What the Pleiadians want you to understand next is that the moment your soul steps forward, something profound begins to unfold within you, something subtle yet unstoppable, like the first crack of light breaking through a long closed door. They call this phase the dissolving of the old self, and although it may feel personal, emotional, and deeply human, it is in truth a sacred rite of passage that every awakened being must walk through. You may notice it in ways that are gentle at first. Activities that once felt meaningful suddenly feel empty. Conversations that used to engage you now fall flat. Environments that once energized you now feel heavy. And relationships that once supported you begin to vibrate at a frequency you can no longer align with. It begins quietly, like an internal whisper telling you, this is no longer who you are. As the weeks unfold, the dissolving becomes less subtle. The old parts of your identity, the roles you played, the masks you wore, the versions of yourself you created simply to survive, begin to lose their grip. It may feel as if you are shedding 1,000 layers at once. You might wake up some mornings feeling like a stranger inside your own life, as if the person you were yesterday no longer exists. This can be unsettling, but the Pleiadians call it the sacred unraveling. They explain that you are not losing yourself. You are losing the self you became when you had no choice but to protect your light. The self that was shaped by fear, by scarcity, by the expectations of others, and by a world that did not yet recognize your frequency. In 2026, that version simply cannot continue. You may feel waves of emotion that seem to arise from nowhere. Sudden grief, sudden joy, sudden clarity, sudden tiredness, and sudden bursts of purpose. These waves are not signs of instability. They are signs of liberation. They are your body purging the energetic residue of timelines that are dissolving as you shift into your highest trajectory. The Pleiadians compare it to standing in the doorway between worlds, with one hand still touching the past and the other reaching toward a future that feels both mysterious and inevitable. This doorway is the threshold of transformation. During this dissolving, you may also feel a strange sense of emptiness. Not a hollow emptiness, but a spacious one, as if your inner landscape has been cleared to make room for something vast and new. The Pleiadians reassure you that this emptiness is not a void. It is preparation. It is the silence before the next version of you emerges. It is the clearing of the old energetic architecture that once defined your identity. They say that this phase is where most humans become afraid, because the mind tries to cling to what is familiar, even if the familiar is what kept you small. But if you can trust this emptiness, if you can surrender into it instead of trying to fill it, you will find that the universe rushes in with extraordinary precision to reveal what was always meant for you. The dissolving of the old self is not a loss. It is an ascension. It is the quiet collapse before the rebirth, the moment the universe rearranges your reality to match the new frequency you are becoming.